Hi, I'm Katie Rose Clarke, and this is Spilling the Tea with iHeartRadio Broadway.
iHeartRadio Broadway, driven by Mercedes-Benz.
My ultimate favorite Broadway show is probably Ragtime. The first Broadway show I ever saw was Miss Saigon. Lea Salonga had returned to the Broadway production, and I happened to be visiting New York City. And then also Chicago. I think I saw them like either back-to-back nights, but Miss Saigon was the first. I know. And also in Chicago, Bebe Neuwirth had returned to Chicago, so I actually saw Bebe Neuwirth in Chicago and Lea Salonga in Miss Saigon. It was epic. So it was like destiny that, of course, I fell in love with Broadway and musical theater. I mean, how could you not after watching The Goddesses? It was perfection. Everything. I want to see everything always, but it's hard to do, especially when you're in your own show and you have the same schedule. But I want to see Spam-A-Lot. I want to see my Heart of Rock and Roll family that's coming to Broadway. I want to see the Cabaret revival. I mean, literally everything. I'm a big Broadway nerd. I want to see everything. The best piece of advice that I've ever been given is definitely just keep going. Don't give up. I think it's a long game, and there's going to be a lot of setbacks and disappointments along the way, just like any career. But if you keep going, then to the perseverer goes the spoils, as they say. Oh my gosh, there are so many. My favorite moment in Merrily is probably, I can't pick just one, but it is really fun. Opening doors is really fun, and I'm only in like the last few like moments of it, and I think that's just a really fun moment because it kind of like brings all the stories kind of together, and the audience kind of starts to see like, oh, this is some of it's really the origin of how I get to become friends with the Charlie, Frank, and Mary. So I think that's just a really fun part. But I also really love Bobby, Jackie, and Jack because everything goes wrong, and there's so many props, and we're always laughing and cutting up, and you don't know if it's the actor laughing or if it's the character. It's like it's a show within a show. So I love that moment. Anytime I get to be on stage with the principals, it's magical. There's just like this like sparkly magical thing that happens. The craziest mishap. There are often things that go wrong. There's so many props, and I have to catch flying props quite a bit, and we're always throwing things to each other. Dropping things accidentally. So anytime that happens, it's the scramble to see who's going to pick it up or if somebody's going to accidentally slip on it. And I always end up losing this hat that I have to wear because I also wear a wig in the show. So this hat kind of falls off a lot. And then there's, prop mishaps happen every night. I think one of the funnier ones that's recently happened, this was just like a week ago or so, was I wear this scarf around my head at one point, and it felt like I didn't quite get it on my head the right way, and it like flops down in my face. That was one that was really funny, and kind of was one of those that was like so unexpected to me too, that we were all just, and then of course we all laugh and cut up, and it's a joy. I feel like we can learn from Beth. She just like demands honesty from Frank, and she is so like, she believes in him, and she's so selfless, and she just truly and genuinely loves him, and she loves him really well, and she really sacrifices a lot in order to see him flourish, and that ultimately is met with tragedy for her. But I think actually I've learned a lot from Beth, and I've learned a lot about love and really sacrificial, selfless, genuine love. And she even really all she asks of him is just honesty in return, and he can't really give that. And there is a moment, a tiny moment that he is actually honest with her kind of in the divorce scene, and it's like maybe a window opening that maybe they could reconcile, maybe there's hope, and then all these other things happen, and unfortunately it doesn't work out. But yeah, I think she is the one that could give us advice about how to love really, really well. My dream role, goodness me, I've played some really great ones, and I'm super thankful for that. My dream probably is to, actually I watched Leslie's Rapid Fire, and I want to steal her question. Can I steal Leslie Kritzer's question or answer to this question? Something that's created for me, something that hasn't been created yet. That's what I want. Oh my gosh, I could listen to a bunch of them. I mean, Hamilton for sure always gets me going. Also Ragtime. Oh, Secret Garden, Parade. All of them. I'm like a big nerd. I'm a huge nerd. Beyonce, for sure.
iHeartRadio Broadway, driven by Mercedes-Benz.